Hey boys and girls, it is Miss Fultz. I am going to do a different kind of lesson today. So I've created this thing so I can write with you and you can follow along. So I just wanted to say, hey, it's Miss Fultz. We are going to be writing a topic sentence together. I want you to remember that a topic sentence is how we start our writing so our audience knows what we are doing. So we are going to first start by making sure that we are following a checklist. So we are going to check our checklist first. I want you to make sure that you're using an uppercase letter at the very beginning. Here, let's move this up. Make sure that you're using an uppercase letter at the beginning of your sentence. Make sure that your handwriting is always nice and neat. Make sure that you're using sight words too. Sight words should be spelled correctly. Then I want you to make sure that you are using finger spaces. That was a big thing before we left school. Otherwise, it looks like one big old sentence, and that doesn't make sense for our reader. We want to make sure that they can read what we're writing. So make sure that after each word, you put your fingers in and you make sure you have a space. The last thing is that I really want you to make sure that you are using the right end mark. Remember that end marks, they finish out a thought. So if you're asking a question, you're going to use a question mark. If you're saying something with excitement, then you write an exclamation point. If you are just finishing a sentence, usually you just put a period. All right, guys, let's get started. Here is our handwriting paper. Everybody should have this from the last packet that we use. Now, Miss Fultz is going to use a marker, but you know that you will use a pencil because if you make a mistake, you want to make sure that you can erase it. And I just want to make sure that you can write it. So, or make sure that you can see what I'm writing. All right, guys, I have an announcement. My animal that I want to become an expert on is the fox. Now, I want to write about it because, one, it's my favorite animal, but two, I want to learn more about it, and then I want to teach everybody the facts that I learn about it. So let's get started. We can start our sentence, our topic sentence, in a couple different ways. That's up to you. So one way that we could do it is we could say, my book is about. See, I have a capital and uppercase letter. Oops, see, Miss Fultz made a mistake. Can teachers make mistakes? Yup, so I'll go back and fix that somehow. My animal is the fox. Now notice I put an end mark and I made sure to put those finger spaces in. Now I didn't do it because Miss Fultz has had a lot of practice, but if you need to get your fingers in there, get your fingers in there. Now the next way that you can write your topic sentence, there's so many different ways. I'm gonna get a new piece of paper. This might take a second. Bear with me. I wanna make sure that I don't mess up my system. See, I already did. Bear with me, you guys are awesome. Be thinking while I'm doing this about what your topic sentence might start out as. Here we go. Let me get this connected. All right. Let me adjust that. Okay. The next one that I could use is my favorite animal is. All right. So, make sure to uppercase. This time I'm going to make sure that I'm using those finger spaces. My favorite. Notice I'm using tall, fall, and small for my handwriting, because when you get into first grade, they want you to have your best handwriting. My favorite animal is, I think I can fit the word there, so I'm going to go ahead and do it. Now, if I couldn't fit it, I'm not even going to try, otherwise it's smushed and my reader can't read it. So now I'm going to swoop down. My favorite animal is a fox, because they are, come all the way down, smart. Now I'm not going to be reading this with excitement, and it's not a question, so I'm just going to make sure I have a period. Then what I'm going to do is make sure that it makes sense. Good writers read their sentences, because if you get started and you make one mistake and you keep going, then it's really hard to go back. So I'm going to make sure that I go back and read my writing. My favorite is a fox, because they are smart. See, I should have put animal right there. I could go back, but I think that it still makes sense. So I'm just going to go ahead and leave it. Now, the next thing that I want you to remember, and parents, I want you to tune into this. We are learning how to write, and so kindergartners will do this thing called inventive writing, and that's them stretching out words and figuring out how to spell words. So it's really important that you let them do that. They're going to come to you and say, how do you spell favorite? And what you're going to do is you're going to hear the syllables. Favorite. You're going to ask them, what does it start with? You're going to ask them to listen to the beginning, middle, and end sounds of those words. Think about this rubber band. We stretch out those words, and then we put it back together. So watch how I do it. Favorite. Now I hear fave or rit. So I'm going to spell that out. If I was going to do that, then the way that I would do it is fave I'm going to say that's an R sound, or an Favor it. Favor it. Favor it. Okay, notice I stretched that dude out. Check it out. Favorite. Then I'm going to bring it back together. Favorite. All right, my friends, what I want you to do is when you are done with this handwriting and you have gone over your checklist and you have each one of these things, I want you to take a picture of it and I want you to send it to me in Dojo. Now, this is something that you have to have done, my friends, so we can move on to the next part. All right. You're the bomb. You're amazing writers. I hope you enjoyed that. Talk to you soon.